In this recording, we will take a tour of my stat lab, and we'll begin here in Blackboard, and I'm going to go to the My Stat Lab button, click on it. I would recommend that you create a shortcut on your computer to this site. As you can see, the address is www.pearsonmylabandmastering.com. Okay, now, as a student, you will need to register, and so you will click here on Student. To register, it requires three things: email, course ID, which is located at the top of the course outline in the box at the top, near the bottom of that box on the left-hand side, and then an access code or credit card. So those are the things you need, and I'll show you what the course ID is in a moment. Okay, also here, if you need support for the site, you can get support through here. And just a comment on the registration: if you don't have the money to pay immediately to buy, say, the access code or the access kit available in the bookstore, or you don't have a valid credit card to pay for it, you can register anyway, and you have a grace period of approximately 10 days to 2 weeks in which you need to pay. If you do not pay in that grace period, then what happens is you will no longer have access to my math lab or my stat lab, whichever you want to call this. And your work will be saved and will reappear once you have paid. So that's the thing to keep in mind. They have a lengthy check your browser here. If you want to go through that, you can. There's a shorter one inside the course, which I'll show you. So I'm going to, okay, I'm already signed in, so I didn't have to go through the sign-in process. So you put in your username and then your password just like you would any other. Okay, so here's our course. Math 240 W01 Fall 2014. The course ID is my name, my last name, McCormick 39342. So that's the one you want to register for. To get in the course, you click on the course name. And I was having trouble with this earlier, so I'm hoping I can get everything to work right now. Okay, this opens to the course home. Sometimes on some of the courses they call it the dashboard. At this place you can see the early homework assignments that are due. Just remember that when you're in my math lab or my stat lab, you're not going to get any labs and additional assignments that are located in Blackboard. The only thing you're going to find here will be homework and quizzes, and occasionally an exam. So be aware of that. Chapter contents: this is where your ebook is located, and this is where things went wrong for me. Let me go back for a moment to the course home. I meant to point this out. This is the better browser check. You need to go through that. How to enter answers might be a good one as well. So those are a couple of things that you may have some information. Now back to the ebook. Chapter contents. It's divided by chapter, and we'll go ahead and start with, I'm going to skip just section 1.2 because 1.1 is just a short introduction. And it seems to be working fine here. So when you're in here for section 1.2, there's a video. Also, you can get into the multimedia text, and that's what I was having trouble with earlier, so let's hope it's working. The nice thing about the e-text is it's identical to the printed text, and that's the reason you do not need to purchase a printed text unless you want to, because through My Stat Lab you have a copy of the text and e-text. So it's up to you if you decide. I'm going to hide the index over here to the left, but this is identical to the textbook. Okay, and you can move through the pages this way, put a page in, you can increase the size. You'll see videos that you can play as you go through. You have additional resources, and there are different animated activities you can do as well. So that's your textbook, and it does save a little bit of money to not buy the printed one. I'm a person who likes the printed one, so I typically would buy it anyway, but I understand some people might not wish to have a copy of the text. Okay, homework, the way that's set up, if you're not familiar with My Math Lab, and I'm just going to pick somewhere in here where it gets into actually doing numbers. Okay, let's pick a question like number 4. Most of the homework assignments have anywhere from 5 to 25 exercises per section, and each week you'll be doing anywhere from 2 to most of the time 2 or 3 sections. Okay, so what you'll notice is in some cases you have true or false. In other cases you may have multiple choice questions. Here you actually have to do a calculation. Over here to the left, sometimes you'll need the symbols from the math palette, like for fractions, absolute values, square roots, and there are more. So you can find those. Here's your exponent in case you're looking for that. So all the homework will have that. And help me solve this. We'll find the answer to show you how to get the answer to this problem. Then you'll be given a different problem to actually complete for the homework. View an example will show you an example similar to this problem, and then you'll come back to this problem to do. Very often these will have multiple parts, so you can see 4 parts are remaining, so make sure you answer all the parts. If there is a video that goes with the section, they'll have the video there. If they have an animation that goes with this question, they'll have that. They'll take you to the section in the textbook that discusses the topic of the mean, median, mode, and mid-range. StatCrunch, I would prefer for you just to work with your calculator, simply because that's what you'll be using on the exam. I'm not sure what they mean by tech help, but anyway, I guess I could click on it to see. Oh, they have some tutorials there. Okay. And finally, if you've gone through all of these help buttons and you still don't understand the question, you can click on Ask My Instructor, and I'll get an email with a link to the problem you're having trouble with. You can type in a message and then I'll answer your message. So that's basically how the homework is set up. Alright, so and typically you can try the problems, I think it's up to 4 times before they're counted wrong. Next we have quizzes, and if I give you an exam that's in My Math Lab, it'll appear here. The quizzes are listed here. You can see a list of those. These are the ones graded. You get 2 attempts. The highest grade is kept. When we get ready to take the first exam, it will cover chapters 1 through 3. You have some practice tests. These are particularly helpful if the exam is being put in My Math Lab. It pretty much, the test bank is used to create these tests, as well as the exam I would give if I gave it in My Math Lab, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But I'll let you know ahead of time. The grade book is where you'll find your grades for my math lab, and you can see I got a 0 because I didn't do any of the problems there. I spent 2 minutes and I didn't do any problems. The grade book is where you'll find your homework and your quiz grades. And I should mention the quizzes are just like the homework, except there are no help buttons. So you have the math palette, but you do not have the help buttons over to the right. As far as the grade book is concerned, you're just going to have your quizzes and your homework, no labs, um, no final grades. You can't pay attention to my stat lab in terms of the final grade. Those grades I will transfer when you take an exam. I will put your exam grade in Blackboard, and then I will transfer your quiz and homework averages so you get an idea of where you stand after you've taken each exam. Course tools, that's primarily for me. I'm not going to worry about that. Multimedia library. This has the animations, it has PowerPoints, it also has the section video lectures, it has some videos having to do with application of statistics, so you can select any of those, any and all of those as you're interested in them. Those are optional. Study plan is also optional. Okay, it'll tell you what you need to practice. Okay, tools for success gives you some flashcards. There's stat talk videos. Those are demonstrating how statistical concepts can be applied. Let's see, StatCrunch, like I said, I prefer for you to use the calculator. StatDisk we will be using. This is where you can download that. There are a variety of manuals. We don't use any of those. They do have some technology tutorial videos. Excel is something you might be interested in. And then you have graphing calculator videos here as well. And more graphing calculator information there. We don't do discussions or stack, and that doesn't apply. Okay, so that basically is my stat lab in a nutshell, and I'm looking forward to this semester of working with you and hope that you have a good learning experience.